You know, that's the thing. Hyun was a great Brood Wars Zerg. He played on TV a lot in South Korea, had a lot of victories, but nowhere near what Jaedong did. And that has to be frustrating. If Jaedong outdid him in StarCraft 1, Hyun comes to StarCraft 2 earlier than Jaedong, and then if Jaedong beats him in a finals here, that has to be the knife twisting in the heart of Hyun.
Well, he's going to have to overcome that to avoid that feeling. But it's definitely possible. I mean, as much as we look at Jaedong and saying how good of a player is, you know, Hyun's earned the nickname in a couple of tournaments before. Hyunstoppable. He needs to be that here, Autosis.
He does need to be that. He's won a lot of smaller tournaments, but hasn't done it on that main stage. But here he is, and he had some great ZvZs already this weekend. He's definitely warmed up in the matchup.
All right, so let's have a look at these two builds this time. Jaedong decided to get a bit of a later spawning pool. It come down on 15 supply compared to 10, which enabled him to drone a little bit more with the extra drones he had before to get down the hatchery on his natural. Over the other side, Hyun said, all right, screw it. Let's go hatchery first again here. Wasn't worried about Jaedong doing the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Wasn't as greedy. Didn't get the extractor before the spawning pool, but still, he wasn't feared.
No. And, you know, I think he looks at the map and says, Jaedong, you are not going to 10-pull me twice. You know, there's a lot of mind games going on in StarCraft 2. How do you pick your build orders? Which maps do you put them on? Do you just keep repeating yourself? Because your opponent can just guess what you're doing and try to counter it. So we see those little mind games going on, and it looks like Hyun has a little bit of an advantage as far as these starts go, but it's not a big advantage like we saw from Jaedong in game number 1.
Yeah, that was a major game-changing advantage previously, but this, just a minor one with the build opening choice here. As good micro here from the drones. Are they all going to stay alive here?
Ooh, almost loses one there. Both Zerglings very low on hit points. And the fact that he actually didn't kill any of those drones and those Zerglings lived until the ranged units came out shows you how good the micro of both these players are.
Well, we will see a longer game here. Absolutely. As this Zergling sees the Queen, sees a drone transfer, which he now knows that Jaedong isn't building aggressive units, but we have a different style. This game will be a much, much longer one than the one we just saw.
Yeah.
Neither player have actually opted to take a gas yet, an extractor, which means they can't be aggressive. They need Zergling speed first. They need to build aggressive units from, mining gas. And with both players opting not to do that, naturally, it's going to be a longer game here.
Yeah, certainly it is. And in fact, you see now Jaedong does decide to grab 2 gases, but Hyun does not. And this is very standard of Hyun. Much later gases. That's just kind of the way that Hyun likes to play this game. He always goes Zerg vs. Zerg just like this.
So both players very high in the drone count because of it.
A lot of minerals banked up, and both of them have gone for 4 queens as well.
So if you are one of these players, which way would you deviate upon taking the gases at this point? Jaedong's got 2, Hyun's got 4, but both are looking to tech up. Which way would you go from both players?
Well, if I'm Hyun, I think I do probably end up going into some sort of roach play because, you know, frankly, I think that's what Hyun is best at, and that's his best chance to beat Jaedong. As far as Jaedong goes, I think you take a 3rd base, you go up to your lair, and try to get Mutalisks out.
All right, we'll see if that's possible. Jaedong has thrown down his 3rd hatchery. Hasn't started anything yet. He's got 22 Zerglings coming in with a Baneling nest. Hasn't looked to tech up towards lair. Seems to be hiding a couple of units here. And is he going to move out very aggressively here? He's still only building Zerglings. An Evolution Chamber just now coming down to further upgrades, but I feel we will see a bit of an attack here from Jaedong. Not too much of a commitment. But definitely a bit of one. You
know, I think he really badly wants to go over and kill any possible 3rd base that Hyun would take. And if Hyun does try to take a 3rd here with this drone, Jaedong 100% will get up there and force a cancel.
All right, Autosis, these Zerglings have escaped. They've come down the right-hand side here, have not been spotted at all. If we look at Hyun's perspective and what he has, 50 drones and 4 queens. He has no defensive units at all.
Oh, God.
He has nothing. He's building 4 overlords. He can't build anything because he's supply capped. And Jaedong is coming with so many units.
This is a huge amount of lings. He's got to put him on move command, though. There he goes, and it looks like Hyun is being slipped by. Can he hold on here with his queens? He does have some spine crawlers bringing the drones down as well. He has to hold this location.
One evolution chamber is going to go down. There is a backup evolution chamber to keep the wall. Is Jaedong going to be able to take a 2-0 lead here? here. This caught Hyun majorly by surprise.
This is absolutely an amazing defense here from Hyun. He had nothing, as you said, Apollo,
Wow.
but he has held.
What an incredible hold from having no units, only relying on a wall of structures and a block to prevent those units from getting inside. Now he continues on with this game. Is a little bit behind when it comes to actually having his third base down, but he has his upgrades going. He has a decent amount of roaches out, and Jaedong only just starting to get his own.
That's right. You know, he's way behind on that attack upgrade, and that is a big deal, but he's already started a lot of roaches because he does have a drone lead. He does have that big economy lead from having more miners at 3 bases. So he's still in a good spot. Even though Hyun blocked that magnificently,
Yeah.
Hyun still has a lot of work to do.
I mean, he used his drones, his workers to help block that. He wasn't lava injecting, so even though he held it well, it wasn't that it didn't slow him down at all. It definitely slowed him down. But Jaedong now still in a supply lead has, at this point, 61 drones, is upgrading twice, an attack upgrade and a defensive armor upgrade for his roaches here, as he does start to build those roaches. But over on the other side of the thing, Hyun has started Hydralisk production.
And, you know, he actually has a very similar number of roaches. So the roaches plus these extra Hydras are going to come into play big time. He's also got that +1 attack, which Jaedong will probably have before they actually engage. So their upgrades are going to be very similar. But I don't think Jaedong doesn't really know what's going to come and hit him soon, which is going to be a very, very strong timing attack.
Yeah, there's only he's at 48 drones Hyun, so his army supply is very, very high, much higher than what Jaedong has at this point. 90 army supply for Hyun, and then it's just about 60, 70 here for Jaedong. And Hyun is coming across, and with the Hydralisk, the extra damage that they deal, is Jaedong going to be able to hold on here, or is Hyun going to be able to draw and equalize this series?
You know, definitely right this moment, we have a better army for Hyun, but he needs to have it all attack at the same time. Those Hydras, a little bit slower right now. Jaedong pulling back, making nothing but units.
Looks like we did have a small counter-attack there from Jaedong. Didn't really do anything because there were units there prepared. But Hyun does back off. He starts droning himself. He didn't think that he could break through into Jaedong's army. But now he's building a lot of drones here, and it's probably going to swing in favor of Jaedong, the army supply now, currently sitting at 112 compared to 94. Jaedong's the one with the larger army now.
Yes, he certainly does, but you have to remember those Hydralisks. They deal damage a lot quicker than roaches. So that can help out Hyun, especially since he's going to sit a little bit more defensively right now while he does get his big economy going.
Well, Jaedong does move out here. Does have 2 upgrades in the production tab in the top left here, furthering his upgrades, even added on the Hydralisk then to get his own Hydras. But here comes Jaedong with a large roach army to the right side. I don't think he's planning to do too much here, but he does have on the left-hand side up to 10 roaches.
Now this is a good move. By bringing these roaches up and hitting one place, he hopes to draw the army out of position so his main army can do some more damage.
Well, one way is Jaedong going to get damage done with his main army or this small one. He comes in the left-hand side. A good defense, a good equal split here from Hyun.
And Hyun does come over, starts defending really quite well. But here comes the main army of Jaedong up to the side, picking off just a single building and running away.
Yeah, both armies so close in size, so close in quality. Neither of these players want to go and smack, bang heads together with their armies.
Yeah, it's
not until they have a
dangerous.
decisive lead that they can hold on to.
That's right. You don't want to miscalculate here, that's for sure. But we do have another little attack coming up to this third base. Jaedong doing a great job, but Hyun has more units popping out and will be able to clean this up.
Does bring down 2 of the queens. That will slow the production down for Hyun, who will not be able to lava inject to increase his lava on that hatchery to build these units from. But we do see now Hyun making his way across. Both have reached max supply, 200 supply. The army count is in favor of Hyun, but he doesn't have all his units there at present.
Yeah. And he does have more Hydras, so we'll see if that actually matters here. Jaedong pushing forward. His roaches going down really quickly, but the roach is getting very thin for Hyun in the front as well.
And Jaedong gets pushed back here. Hyun takes a fight. He takes a win. Jaedong's reinforcements are on their way out here, but are they going to be out in time? Hyun so far defending super well. Now is his time to do some damage. Now is his time to deal a strike that maybe Jaedong can't recover from.
Well, if he could do something like grab that hatchery, it would be huge. Looks like he's going to back up a little bit. We are closer to Jaedong's base, so he gets more units quicker. And it looks like, all the roaches are gone for Jaedong.
All the roaches are gone. These Hydras are dealing a lot. There's more and more units coming in for Jaedong, but there's also more and more units streaming across the map here for Hyun, who's reinforcing super well, and he looks like he's broken the front line of Jaedong here, and that's going to allow him to get into this third hatchery, to get into Jaedong's economy, and to really hurt him.
Yeah, this is absolutely amazing that Hyun is able to almost break Jaedong on his home turf. Jaedong continuing to rally up more units, but is it actually going to be enough? His supply is plummeting. He's down by 30.
He's down by 30, but this is a long, drawn-out fight here. A couple of minutes worth of fighting. Jaedong seems to be holding strong at this point. Yes, he's lost a couple of workers, but he does hold the front. And, well, this game seems to go on and will continue from this position. Both players equal in supply, pretty much equal in economy here. Jaedong does have a +2 carapace over his opponent, though.
Well, Hyun luckily does have that +2 carapace on the way still. He also has a little bit bigger bank, a little bit more supply, and a few more drones. So he definitely has a bit of a lead after that, but still absolutely anyone's games. In fact, if he could snipe that, that would be huge.
It would be, as he does have his own 4th base up. Mirrors, complete opposite side of the map up here, does have his own. Supply count, as you can see at the south side for Quantic Hyun, is 152 now compared to 136 of Jaedong. Trailing a little bit here.
Well, it
Still
looks like
anybody's game.
We're kind of stabilizing a little bit, Apollo. Both players realize that to attack anymore could be foolhardy. You know, they might just lose their army, so they have to sit back, try to figure out exactly where they're at in this game. But in the meantime, we should see little harassment parties like these roaches we see going up both sides to try to do just a little bit of damage to each other.
Yeah, 2 parties, one from Jaedong, one for Hyun here, looking to try to get in a flank from this left and right-hand side as Hyun moves his army south, looking to try and get in. But Jaedong with this counter-attack, it's nice. It wasn't expected. Hyun takes his entire army home here.
Yeah, very painful. Killing some drones, killing some units as they pop out one at a time. Definitely don't want to be fighting one at a time here. And another queen does fall.
The amount of queens that Jaedong sniped so far in this series, you know, adding in game 1 as well, is rather high.
Quite a bit indeed, Apollo. Well, it looks like Hyun going to defend everything. He didn't take critical damage there, but Jaedong gaining little edges and trying to hit his 4th base, but it doesn't look like that's going to work either.
Yeah, it doesn't quite have the army size here, I don't think, but he does have the better position from the high ground as Jaedong launches an attack in here, gets in quite close, but is losing in supply. He doesn't have the numbers here, but he is going to take another fight. He may have to retreat from this one. There's a lot of units from Hyun, but also from Jaedong. As you can see, very equal between both players here.
Yeah,
Hyun still at a supply lead with his units now coming from the left-hand side to help out.
They are so close, but Jaedong is at a supply deficit here. He has to be very careful because we're so close to Hyun's base. His reinforcements are going to get there quicker.
Oh, Jaedong's losing a lot of Hydras there. They are the more expensive units over those roaches. And roaches are a little bit faster. They're going to get in there. They're going to start picking off the weaker ones.
Yeah. Well, he is chasing Jaedong all the way home. He's got to be careful, though, because the reinforcements of Jaedong are there. And it looks like the game probably going to slow down just for a moment again as Hyun really gathers his forces together.
He does have a supply lead here, looking to see if he can tie this series up to take it to map number 3, 1 apiece between the 2 players. Hyun has 4 roaches on the right-hand side, trying to distract, pull Jaedong out of position as Hyun pulls left here. He may be able to snipe this hatchery. He's only going to take a couple of hits.
Oh, if he snipes that, a big move there from Hyun. And he now has a huge lead in economy.
Using his numbers to his advantage here as he goes home after picking off that hatchery, keeping his own mirrored hatchery alive, and will have a much higher income than Jaedong from this position.
Jaedong is only making units right now, Apollo. Do you think we're just going to see a massive counterattack?
If he tries that, I'm afraid that may be the end of his game here because Hyun has just as much army, if not more, in a better position, has the reinforcement hatcheries closer than Jaedong could ever hope for.
That is very true, and in fact, Jaedong does put down the hatchery again, so a good choice, but he still is at a big supply deficit. He's down by about 40 supply right now, and he can't make up those numbers having less economy as well.
No, he cannot, and he loses a roach or 2 here to the pushing forward of Hyun's army. Looking to try to pick up this game. Let's see if he can do it now. He marches forward. He's at 200 supply. He's defending at the same time. This is the perfect time for Hyun to take this fight. He moves in forward. Roaches spread to the right, and Jaedong already knows it.